Web 2.0 Learning with Kahoot. What is Kahoot? Kahoot is a game-based learning tool that is created and used through mobile technology. You can create a Kahoot to be a multiple-choice quiz, survey, or open discussion. The learner responds to the questions via their mobile device and can remain anonymous or be known. The instructor creates the Kahoot and will receive live feedback on any of the tools used. Here is how you get started. Go to getkahoot.com, and foremost, it is a free tool. You'll be asked to identify your role. You can either be a student or an instructor. You will then be prompted to create an account. If you choose the teacher role, it will ask you for your institution, as noted on my example. You will then be asked to create a username and password that will save all your created Kahoots. The next prompt will be to create your Kahoot. Here is where you choose if you want a quiz, discussion, or survey Kahoot. I chose the quiz option for my Spanish class. I then was prompted to label my quiz, and I labeled it body parts since that is the current unit we are studying. You are then prompted to ask the questions. This is where you can create the questions, and you may have unlimited questions in this area. Each question is given an image, and you can download from your computer or have a random picture that will be assigned if none is chosen. You then have to put in at least 2 to 4 answers with at least one correct answer, but can have more than one correct answer. Here's also where you can customize the amount of time and point value of each question asked. Once you are done making all your questions, you can either choose to play now, preview, or edit if needed. Kahoot also gives you the option to share your Kahoot via social media. I chose the preview option so that you are able to see what the learner will see on their mobile device as well as on the whiteboard. You also can choose to play music with the questions and shuffle the question or answers given in the quiz. Once you have selected Start Now, a game pin is displayed on the whiteboard, and you can keep the game pin displayed throughout the quiz so that if for any reason a learner is kicked out due to a bad connection, they are able to jump back in on the next question. The learners have to log in via kahoot.it and input their PIN. Once you have inputted the PIN, the learner will be asked to make a name for the game, and the instructor at this point still has the option of deleting any inappropriate names at this time. Here's what the student sees on the whiteboard, which is the question with the answers, and what they see on their mobile device. They need to see the whiteboard in order to answer the questions. The answers given by the learner is real time, and they will know once all the players have answered if they had a correct answer, and the board will display to the instructor the stats of the learners. The scoreboard is displayed after every question to show who is in first through fourth place. At the end of a quiz, it will show the overall winner and the amount of Kahoots they earned. It would also show their stats, how many correct and incorrect they received. The individual learner will see on their mobile device as also if they are the highest scorer. The learner will also have the option of giving the instructor feedback on the quiz with a simple feedback survey. The final scoreboard will have the first to fourth place winners and the option to download the results for the instructor, play again, or to play a different Kahoot. Let's see my 4th grade classroom in action. So how does Kahoot relate to the 4 C's? I believe it encompasses all 4 C's to some level, and depending on what tool within Kahoot you use, it will emphasize one of the 4 C's more than another. Kahoot definitely fosters collaboration. It encourages them to work together and experience success together if they are given the task to create a quiz, survey, or participate in a discussion. They will embark upon critical thinking and indulge in problem solving when given the quiz or discussion. Their education is transformed with increased participation of the student, which amounts to a lot of creativity and innovation. They can discuss a topic with one another and put in their insights about it. It teaches them how to effectively communicate and collaborate with fellow students and teachers. It is general point of view of teachers that there is always at least one of the 4 C's in which their students can excel using Kahoot in the classroom. So what does the research say? I believe that social conservatism and behaviorism are the 2 theories that are represented the best by the use of Kahoot. Benson suggested 6 ways of fostering autonomy, and one of these emphasizes a technology-based approach. By teaching learners how to use technology independently by creating a Kahoot, the learners may have more chances to become autonomous users than traditional classroom learners. Sutton also discussed the current trends in instructional technology that encompasses behaviorist and constructivist theories. Though discussing primarily constructivist ideals, he states that there are many aspects of behaviorism that are positive and that have led to the development of important instructional technologies. Examples of behaviorism in current trends are the instructional software and computer-assisted instruction like Kahoot. Shield also discussed the use of drill and practice tutorials with individual instructions and feedback drill and practice. This type of learning, where a student is rewarded though through an encouraging comment before moving on to the next learning objective, is especially apparent in the use of the computer games that are so highly addictive to teenagers, as their learning behavior is being progressively rewarded at each level of the game is mastered. There is a huge push towards more of a constructive approach. However, when implementing instructional technologies, there are many supporters of this, and they provide a convincing argument. Shield states that one way forward is to switch our attention from the design of software packages, which act solely as a storehouses of information, to an interactive problem-based environment in which the student assumes the key. With this profile in place, the learning task can be tailored to the student's capabilities rather than the student having to fit it in with the software designer's generalized understanding of how learning should take place. The creation of these rich learning environments will also have to ensure that text, reference sources, multimedia, and communication facilitates are fully integrated. So what are the critiques and future recommendations for Kahoot? The biggest problem that I personally encountered is the lack of connectivity with the web. If a learner cannot connect, they do miss out on the learning experience. I would also like to see the designer create a quiz that is more than just multiple choice, perhaps an assessment tool that can integrate short answers. This is highly important in language learning, as we will be able to ask a question and become more conversational with an assessment tool of a short answer response. Since this is a new tool, perhaps more options will be developed beyond a quiz, survey, and discussion. Now have fun and go Kahoot!